This is a video about simplifying rational expressions. The steps you'll use to simplify rational expressions are you'll factor the numerator and denominator completely, you'll state any domain restrictions, and you'll cancel out any common factors in the numerator and denominator. Now we're going to look at a couple examples. If I look at the first example and I just focus on my numerator, I can see that this is an a equals 1 problem for factoring. So I am looking for factors of c that add up to be b. So the factors of -2 that add to be 1 are -2 times +1. So when I factor, I have x minus 2, x plus 1. When I focus on the denominator, this is a greatest common factor problem. I can factor a 2 out of both terms, and when I do that, I'm left with x plus 1. And now I need to state any domain restrictions. So I know that x plus 1 cannot equal 0. If I were to solve that, x cannot equal -1. Lastly, I want to cancel out any factors. So if you look, I have x plus 1 in the numerator and denominator, so those would cancel out. And I am left with x minus 2 all over 2. And again, x cannot equal -1. For the second example, I'm going to start doing the same thing. I'm going to focus on the numerator first. Again, it's an a equals 1 problem. I need factors of -6 that add to be -1. So that's -3 times +2. So this would factor to x minus 3, x plus 2. When I focus on the denominator, it's another a equals 1 problem. I'm looking for factors of -2 that add to be 1. So that's 2 times -1. So this time my factors are x plus 2, x minus 1. I need to state any domain restrictions. So I have x plus 2 cannot equal 0, x minus 1 cannot equal 0. If I solve those, x cannot equal -2, x cannot equal +1. And then lastly, I look for any factors that will cancel out. I have x plus 2 in the numerator and denominator, so those cancel. And I am left with x minus 3 in the numerator, x minus 1 in the denominator, x cannot equal -2, x cannot equal 1. In my last problem, if I factor the numerator, it's a difference of squares problem. Remember, we want to rewrite those. So I have x squared minus 2 squared. This would be my a value for our formula, and this would be my b value. And the formula is a minus b, a plus b. Or vice versa. If you have them switched, it's still the same thing. In the denominator, there's nothing I can factor out, but I could reorder it if I had to, if I want to write my x first. And then if you notice, these are really close to canceling out, but just not quite there. So in the denominator, if I wanted to, I really could factor out a -1, and that would get those to match. Now that I have those matching, I can state my domain restrictions. So hopefully at this point you're starting just to see it without having to show any work. X cannot be 2. These would cancel out. I'm really left with x plus 2 over negative 1. And really, that would be better written as negative x plus 2.